This date is the 22nd of April 2026. The time now is 19th of 7:36 p.m. Today I'm speaking on the Heart UI UX library. O for Oscar, B for Bravo, I for Indigo, X for X-ray, which means Heart UI UX. User interface and user experience. I was speaking about the OBIX transpiler, O for Oscar, B for Bravo, I for Indigo, S for X-ray, JSX, JavaScript and XML, object-oriented programming, and O for Oscar, B for Bravo, I for Indigo, X for X-ray, J for Jam, S for Sarah, K for Kilo, functional dash func. These are two packages I'm hoping to build for OBIX. The main purpose is to separate the connection between via the data-oriented adapter. It is it's a transpiler that takes a functional code and transposes it into object-oriented implementation, and takes object-oriented code and transposes it into object-oriented code via a bijection. The data-oriented adapter allows you to toggle between class and object orientation, but at the compile time level, I'm trying to take any component, such as an accordion, which is a list of accordions. Accordions are a mathematical-based understanding, expandable lists. And corresponding loops can be implemented as functional components, function accordion, or class components, class accordion, and as React components. So OBIX is a React interdependent. OBIX is a React uses JavaScript and XML to convert to React compliant code. The goal of this is to explore how or define problems in the domains of tabulation that is addressed via the abstract syntax tree representation. You got the tokenizer, the bundler, which bundles OBIX code, OBIX bundler. But when you create a React app, you're creating a functional app or class app. OBIX will understand that these are two components, this type of development methodology used in real world practices. And the key is to unveil, to transpile two sets of modules into their own, or to ship to developers who are working whether with class or object, whether with class object rotation and functional methodology. The two packages are, for example, if you create an accordion as a class method, you can transpose the whole code via the abstract syntax tree to the accordion of the other method. So you build an isomorphic you build an isomorphic AST via the data-oriented pattern, data-oriented adapter, which ensures that any kind of accordion list is has transparentization via the AST, and any kind of data, any kind of state is stateless and works within two components. This is what OBIX does. OBIX is a hard UX library, and the whole goal of this is to ensure that developers can evolve their code base, easily maintain the code. The goal is to have it look like React, feel React, but look like React, it feels like React, but isn't React. That means that it's OBIX because it basically allows you to write components and transpose it in a bijection way. So you can transpose from OBIX and JSX, OBP, functional object accordions, to functional accordions, which are the same implementation of the UI UX state. via data, because everything is data in OBIX. There you go. This is what I'm saying. So the accordion can be used to what's an accordion do? Used to display more information, and by having true measure of same data, you can convert it in real time and still maintain the code base, depending on what you want to do. Same revision, depending on the representation of the end product or what you're trying to achieve. Because you focus on goal in OBIX, you don't focus on the what is this in a class within a function. That's the goal of the transpiler. But today you can also bundle OBIX code with you can bundle any OBIX code with React, create React app. Let me try and demonstrate that now. One second, I'm just getting the product here. Mm, yes, 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 yes. So yes. So this project is called OBNexus React App, OBIX React App. This is from Create React App, but you get this and a build. This is kind of so you're gonna have a this and a build. So you're gonna have CD OBIX React App, and and now I'm running the OBNexus SDK client. Basically, if you go to npm install at OBNSS OBIX SDK client, that's G, should work. It's taking its time. Yes, yes. You're gonna have npm OBIX. Um, uh, npm npm npx. So you get the npx at OBNX's SDK client. And this is the client position. So if I want to use the npx obix or obix, which is basically obix compile compile uh, JSX, that's target uh uh yeah source entry GSS map. So I now compile obix compile entry source. This is source code to this distribution folder here. Let's delete this folder here. Yeah. So we can use the package. So basically you have to understand that you got the README. This is a React app, and this React we can write React code here. So you're gonna have npm start, and you get React script stop. This React is a create React. This is create React app project. The code is basically doing transpile via OBIX, so it's taking time to start. So you're gonna have localhost 8080 startup here now. I mean, localhost 3000 startup, and as you can see, they have the product here. Basically, the npm object is to go here. So, it's gonna be the aspect of bundling. Yeah, it's a start development server, so you kind of long to start development server. But it's oh yeah, so the app. So this is the standard application for React. But what I told you, this edit source app.js or save to reload is what I'm trying to transpile. And if you try to transpile React, like this function video can be transported to another component of the video, but after it's ejected. So the React tool is you don't need to ever eject the project in the React code base. You don't need to ever react to npm inject eject to OBIX. You don't need to ever eject. I don't like ejecting the project too, because it's just manual configuration. And this animation, let's see, by by running by changing the goal. So this is a app.js. Learn React master OBIX. So so compiled again. And we go back. Learn React master OBIX. So it's basically a system of editing kind of React code. So you write in React. So this overall React code via the JavaScript and XML. The way same way React does functional components, you are using it to create a system of better components because component hierarchy. For example, you have the build directory. You're gonna have the things that are built, the things that's actually being executed, but they are reflecting the source, so they are watching the source. But when you compile the OBIX project, you are taking a React code and transpiling it into either class component. If you want to see a different how it looks as a class component, same class component, how it looks as a class, the class things as a web, so you can ship it to a developer. So you're gonna have the two ways to do that. So you're gonna have basically OBSEK client, Um, So this is the build React. Let me just try and pull this up. Compile 5 files, components with 0. CD this. Okay. So these are the instructions to use the OBIX component if you're trying to verify. So these are the script here. Let me try and implement a schema component here. But you are this is command line interface basically. So if you have OBIX here, you have to compile actually. So this compile code. This is a build code. OBIX build. So that's it. So this is gonna get long, but it's basically to have it's basically it's not basically you're writing React code, you're gonna have React code. Uh, um, basically, you're banging. So basically, the goal was to have a way to, bundle the code, but you're gonna have the disk. So this is the same application file, but this is a React. So it's basically taking this is the build and this OBX dist, but this is the same thing of the React code, but this is the bomb. This is compiling the code. So the next step is it does work. It's the same code, but OBX understands React. So I'm showing them, it's not structured in a way that you understand, we understand it, yeah. Because it's not structured, it goes to make it nice and pretty. So next stages are to take the direction of the disk and make it nice and pretty. So you're gonna have a hierarchy of your ABH tree. The folders are roots, the leaves are files, and the goes to have the folders are branches or edges, and the leaves are nodes, and the four files are nodes. And it goes to have a bundle, something that's coherently you can read because the line spacing, readable code. Mhm. So it's not a bad thing per se. It's just that it has to be able to ship deployable. Because the OBIX client is basically very very new. It doesn't bundle the kind of things we want to bundle right now. Because if you look at the output text built for React, you have a build static, CSS, JS, media. If you look at the dist, you have app.js, app.test, index, report, verb, vitals. And so these are not what is standardized for an application. Application has an entry point, app.js, but it needs to be structured in a kind of bundle, so you can just open an application and install it, and kind of installable application because it's bundleable. Because everything has a a trunk, which is the root. You're gonna have some things, a trunk root for the product, which is like the desk fruit folder or distribution root folder. So, like I'm explaining to you, I've showed you that OBIX that we can compile. We compile the function in app the we compile app the GS. This is a functional app, yes, but it's basically React JSX. But because because you understand React JSX, yes, able to part with code, that will stop, and it's not able to take this and unless we bundle it, because the bundle is not ready. So we got the compound, we got the bundle. Let me see what the bundle compound will be. Obix build, compile the shared program. Obix compile, Obix build. Yeah, 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 in compile. So it's not working like the same thing is working as. So basically, the client is a very new, but it's not fully here yet. So, the OBX client is a hard UI use library, but it's not really here yet. So you can't really use it to transpile JavaScript and XML React code into something that's into some application. Yeah, but we go to transpile it into things to convert the two code between class and object organization, and to transpile the code into an executable, installable executable, such as MSIX file, which is an application bundle in Windows, and whatever the target of an application bundle is in Unix systems. By doing so, OBIX should be ready for production. But the goal is to have a runnable workspace executable that takes React code and make it into something that's runnable. React code and make it something runnable in the real world in production, because the bundles are what's really installable. You know, the bundles are what's installable. Thank you for watching the video. Like, share, and subscribe.